So it seems that game key cards may be on its way out. So Nintendo decided to make, a horrible choice. Okay. Really, it was probably because the third-party developers begged Nintendo to do it. I don't think Nintendo really wanted to do game key cards. But third-party developers are so lazy. They're so, lazy. And yes, I want Nintendo to have third-party support. You know, I think everybody does. I think it's cool to see all these big games available on Nintendo hardware, but at one point, do these developers have the laziness called out? Okay, the fact that it'll be different if it was like games like Call of Duty or something that is bigger than the 64 gigabytes on the cartridge. Okay, that would be different. Okay, and we did a rant on game key cards yesterday as well here. Okay, but it is really the laziness of these third-party developers. A lot of these games can fit on less than 64 gigabytes of space. Okay, and yes, if they want to include patches or stuff that expand the game, but all three of these games can fit the games shown here, especially Sonic XL Generations, which can fit on a Switch 1 cartridge. Okay, if it can fit on a Switch 1 cartridge, it can fit on a Switch 2 cartridge. Yakuza 0, same thing. If it can fit on a Switch 1 cartridge, and of course Street Fighter 6, that game is less than 64 gigabytes, it should, therefore, fit on a Nintendo Switch 2 cartridge. Okay, this is just getting ridiculous at this point. The worst offender, I think, out of all of them is Puyo Puyo Tetris, and, of course, Bravely Default, a literal 3DS game, which can fit on a 3DS cartridge, but for some reason cannot fit on a Switch 2 cartridge. I know there are some people that will make defenses for this. I don't know why you're defending the game key cards. I don't understand why. Okay, because I can expose hypocrisy of it, because that's why I've been down from the very beginning, to expose hypocrisy of these third-party developers as well. They're so lazy and so lazy, except for CD Projekt Red, obviously, but they're so lazy that they can't fit these games which are less than 64 gigabytes on a cartridge. Okay, a 64 gigabyte cartridge. Of course, if you have a game that's bigger than 64 gigabytes, let's say the newest Call of Duty, then yes, Call of Duty, either way, would have to be a game key card, because guess what? You can't fit the whole game on a 64 gigabyte cartridge. The rest of it, it'll be like, or they would have to do like this, Cyberpunk 2077 post on the Xbox Series X and S, where you have to have, 2 discs so you can have the whole game installed as well. But, yeah, there we go for this whole video here. And I'm glad that Nintendo is saying that, game key cards might be a thing. Game key cards may finally... Actually, they did not show the whole post, so we don't know what happened here. Yeah, but I think Nintendo is probably quite concerned because they don't want to lose third-party support, because third-party developers are this lazy and this, absurd. Goodbye.